Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to make a quick video today talking about developing your own personal systems and developing your own personal goals and adding your own personal flavor and your own personal style towards things like consistency, towards things like motivation. For myself, I've always been the kind of guy that people have labeled as being quite intense. And in the past, I've always thought of that as being a negative thing. And it's just part of who I am. It's part of the way that I do things, and it's part of the way that I generally speak to people. It's part of the way that my relationships are with friends and family. And it's part of what I'm about. It's just, I don't know if I can change it. I've always thought of it as being negative, and I've always tried to dial it back a bit. But when I realized that it's actually part of who I am, and trying to use that to apply that to the way that I do things and the way that I work and the way that I manage myself, I found that I actually had much better results rather than working against who I am and working against the things that people have always described me as. And not looking at it as being a negative, and starting to actually see it as just part of who I am, and thinking, okay, well, how can I channel that into my goals, and how can I channel that into my to-do list, and how can I focus my energy? I found that I was actually getting a lot more done and not so worried about what other people thought of me. And it's really, really interesting, because you can spend a lot of time worried about what other people think about you and worried about what other people are going to say about you. But the truth is that all of the time, no one gives a fuck about what you're doing. No one gives a fuck about you, about what you're doing, what's going on, about whatever. People will say stuff, but don't worry about whatever anyone says. Words are words. Words can hurt you, but not really. Words don't cause damage to you. Words are words. They're just sounds. They don't hurt you. So don't worry about what someone says. And if you are worried about if you are ever worried about what someone says or what someone thinks about you, just remember this. No one cares, because everyone is too busy judging themselves. Everyone is too busy worried about what everyone else is thinking about them. And that's exactly what you're doing by sitting there and thinking about it and being scared and not doing the things that you want to do with your life and not living your life in a certain way because you're worried about what someone else thinks. That's what they're doing. So don't be stressed about it. On the topic of intensity and channeling those things and channeling who you are and what makes you into your own personal flavor of motivation, into your own personal way of doing things, you'll find that whatever it is, you'll always have your own little way of doing things. After you learn a new skill or develop a new system or start to do things in your life, you'll make it your own. And by making things like motivation your own, by not trying to seek motivation from other people, by not trying to seek motivation from external sources, by making it your own and developing your own way of doing things, you'll find that you'll have a much greater pattern of success and you'll be able to stick to it. It's much easier to be consistent when you're consistent in your own way. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day, everybody, and follow for more. Bye, everybody.